What is going on, guys, and welcome to a new video. And today we have the second of four guides for the Elite Slayer creatures. Already done Living Wyverns, and today is the Ripper Demons guide. So on screen at the moment you can see the sections that we are going to cover, very similar to the Living Wyverns guide, except we've added in a section on armor and weapon perks. As always, down in the description will be time-stamped for the different sections if you want to skip to any of those specific sections. And just a quick disclaimer, these are sort of currently the best experience in-game, but also relatively difficult mobs, and therefore quite high level setup is needed to get the most experience per hour, and to do these in the most efficient way. So quick disclaimer, there are going to be some high level requirements within this guide in order to, as I said, to get the best XP and also to get the best kills per hour. So, as with the Living Wyverns, the Ripper Demons are, as again, 96 Slayer, except they are a bit higher level and have a few more life points. So they are level 131 with 33,500 life points, and they are located in the abandoned mine east of Al-Qarid. And they are an absolutely massive 600k Slayer experience per hour. At this point in time, they are probably, I'd say, joint first for the most experience that you can get in an hour, with the other being Acheron Mammoths. The unique drops of the Ripper Demons are the main hand and offhand Ripper Claw, which are the tier 85 melee weapons, and the Raptor Key Piece 2. So on screen at the moment you can see the inventory gear and action bars that we are going to be using. I have highlighted again in red the most important things that you need to take note of, and won't go over everything. You can just copy what's sort of in my invent. Now with this setup you will be able to do easily a whole task without having to bank or using too much food. With the inventory, again, the most important thing is one of the most important things is the weapon poison, as this is going to do a lot of damage over the course of the task. For the gear, I've highlighted both the Vampirism Aura and the Vampirism Scrimshaw. Now, as these attack very rapidly with the melee attack, you're going to need to pray melee against them, which makes healing very difficult. So you're going to need to use either the Vampirism Aura or the Vampirism Scrimshaw. Both of them heal roughly the same amount and should be able to heal the majority of your hit points back using one or the other. You can use both, but this is a little bit of overkill in my opinion. Again, really important to take is the Amulet of Souls, as this gives you further damage reduction whilst using prayer. And the Death Touch bracelet isn't essential, but is useful because it reflects a fair bit of damage back to the demons themselves. Now, I have tested this method with just fully augmented bandos, but I was just taking a little bit too much damage to not eat, I was eating too much basically with full augmented bandos. So I found that using augmented bandos tasses with an augmented Tetsu plate body worked really well on both a tank and DPS level. It was sort of like a hybrid in between max DPS and max tank, really. So I would recommend, if you are planning to go to sort of 120 with these, that it's definitely worth getting yourself that augmented Tetsu body or some slightly higher defensive armor. As far as the action bar goes, you're going to need a dual wield melee setup. I highly recommend that you augment yourself a pair of dual wield rapiers, and the reason I say rapiers is because they are going to be used in the future guide for Acheron Mammoths, but we'll go over that obviously in a future guide. But yeah, I would definitely recommend using dual wield rapiers over any other Drygor. And the only ability that we really need to highlight is that we're going to be using devotion from the defensive abilities. Okay, so I wanted to dedicate a whole section of the video just to weapon, armor, and perks, and the reason behind that is because of the Ripper Demons in skill attack. Now, this attack is very frustrating, and we basically want to minimize how often they can do this. So when they reach full adrenaline, they'll jump up into the air, and then if they land near you and you don't run away, they'll insta-kill you. Very frustrating to deal with. So the way that we deal with that is basically going for the absolute maximum DPS we can, so that they never actually get the chance to do their spec. So all of the perks on screen at the moment are really important, and I'll go over each of them and why they're important. But if you are planning to do a lot of Ripper Demons, if you're planning to prefer them, go to 120 with them, which I highly recommend you do because they're just such good experience. You're going to want to get yourself as close to this setup as you can to try and avoid that one-hit attack. So where you put your perks isn't that important, but the perks that you need to have are the Genocidal and the Demon Slayer perk. Each of these gives individually a 7% damage boost against Ripper Demons, so that's 14% already. You're also going to need the Enhanced Devoted perk because they attack so frequently that this perk activates really often and saves you a lot of life points. The next perk that you're really going to want is Impatient 3, because the rotation that we use to kill them requires quite a lot of adrenaline, and you really benefit from having that extra adrenaline from the Impatient 3 perk. And then the final one is the Biting 3 perk. Now, you can replace this with Biting 2, but I would highly recommend using Biting 3 because that is another 4.2% or something damage increase. And the reason I have it on my Slayer gear, I know it's a very expensive perk to get, but if you disassemble one Noxious weapon, then you'll get 4 Biting 3 gizmos. And I've obviously got one on my Malevolent, my Pernix, oh not my Pernix, my Malevolent, my Sirenic, and my Tectonic. So I had a spare Biting 3 gizmo, and if you do have one of those spare, again, highly recommend putting that onto your Slayer gear if you are going for lots and lots of kills. So when you are outside of the Ripper Cave, you're going to want to pot up, summon your familiar, and then enter. Now, the only kill that is different from the rotation we're going to do is the first kill, as with the wyverns. So what you want to do is basically build up your adrenaline on the first kill using basics, and then when you get to the destroy ability, that is when you're going to want to use destroy, and you should be able to kill the first demon before it does its spec. And then once we've killed this demon, we're going to go into our rotation. Okay, so once we've killed the first demon, we're going to go into a 5-kill rotation, which you can see on screen at the moment, and I'll do my best to commentate over the top. So for the first kill, you want to go into Fury, and then Dismember and Assault, and then a couple of basics after that Assault, and you should be able to finish off the kill. Now, you should be 100% adrenaline at this point. Now, don't attack another demon. You want to use Devotion, which won't use any adrenaline, and then Berserk, and then use basics to kill this demon. Now, it's important that you use the Fury ability as much as you can, and stack that with Sever and Destroy. This should bring you up to about 50% adrenaline once that Ripper demon is dead, and then you can use, again, Destroy on the next demon, which will take it down super quickly. Now, the rotation is back to basically the first kill, where we use Fury, Dismember, Assault, and then basics to kill the demon. Now, occasionally this rotation will not do enough damage, as you'll see here, before the demon does its spec, and if that happens, then just run away, but this should not happen more than a couple of times per task. And then once you have finished off this demon, the final demon's rotation is to use Fury, and then Slaughter, then use a couple of basics, and then back into Fury, and then Destroy and basics, and then this should finish off the kill. And this is when we go back into the first kill of the rotation. So I'll go over it one more time. So we go into Fury and Dismember, and then into Assault, and then finish off the demon with a couple of basics. Now, as you can see, a elite Ripper demon has spawned, and you can fit this into your rotation. You basically want to kill this whilst on the Zerk part of the rotation, so use Devotion into Berserk and then build up, but instead of using the Assault on basically the second demon, you just use it on the Ripper demon, and you will see that you'll be able to kill it before it manages to spec, just because you managed to do so much DPS. Once the elite Slayer creature is dead, you can basically just go back into the rotation where you are at, so into Fury, and then into Dismember, into Assault, and then basics to finish off the kill. And this is essentially what you need to do for your whole task. It's a very, very high DPS, high intensity rotation, but it allows you to get a task of like 70 odd done within less than 20 minutes, and obviously gives you a massive chunk of Slayer experience. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and it does help you kill Ripper demons more efficiently and get that upper end 600k plus experience per hour. If you have enjoyed and you did find it useful, please do smash that like button. It's always a great motivator to get videos out for you guys. And yeah, the Acheron Mammoths, guys, will be coming as soon as possible. And if you're new, please do subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.